Guys, honestly, you are in for a treat today. You see the title of the video. I'm actually going to be breaking down in this video in so much detail, right, on how to go about finding a media buyer that if you don't actually know how to find a media buyer after this video, I'm sorry to tell you, but you are probably never going to find a good media buyer. Honestly, guys, I'm going to make this so friggin' in-depth that even my friggin' grandma could, actually genuinely go about using this. This is the first and last video you're going to need on how to go about finding a media buyer. I am literally sick and tired of people asking me, Montel, where do you find media buyers? How can I find a media buyer? What is a media buyer? All of this sort of stuff. I'm actually going to be breaking this down in today's video for completely free for you guys. Honestly, I'm probably going to piss a lot of these gurus off with this particular video. And you guys know when I say that, I'm genuinely being serious. I'm pretty sure you guys have watched like my 2-hour-long SMMA guide, which by the way, I'll probably do like an updated version of that pretty soon. So I know that a lot of you guys have watched that, quite literally 42,000 views or something like that, 41,000 views or something like that. And a lot of people are saying that like, yo, you actually just killed it, the best guide I've seen. So this right here is like that guide, if you will, but in this one video. So all I ask for in return, guys, honestly, is just drop a like right now, friggin' subscribe, turn the notification bell on so that I can get discovered by more and more people. Because all what's gonna happen is they're gonna fall into the same trap of coming into SMMA and then just falling for the same gurus over and over and over again, getting into their programs, not doing anything with it. Then they end up discovering me and saying, Montel, all my days, I wish I discovered you from the beginning. I probably would have saved myself thousands of dollars, blah, 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 blah. It happens every single time, by the way, guys. Literally got so bad that I've literally started jokingly saying, like back a few months ago, that I'm the dude you come to after you've taken all the gurus programs and still haven't landed a client, so that you can go about landing clients. Anyway, guys, let's jump straight into my computer with this one. So I just want to preface or preface, if you will, by saying, guys, the hiring funnel that I personally use myself in my own agency is inside of Instrumentation. I'll be breaking this down in what I mean by this in a second, guys. But long story short, there's a hiring funnel that I basically use to go about finding my perfect media buyer, and it works like clockwork, if you will. If you know how to use it, it really does work. Now, I personally use this for my own agency, and it is inside of Agency Transmutation, which is my online program. So if you want to enroll into that, you probably don't even need to watch this video, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can still watch this video, but long story short, it's inside of a Transmutation. This also includes the questionnaire that I use to vet my media buyers, because you have to vet media buyers before you actually get on an interview with them. And I also give you the questions I like to ask media buyers when I'm actually interviewing them. You reach out to somebody, they actually get back to you, you vet them through like a questionnaire. This is like the funnel, if you will. Then you get them onto an interview. All of that is inside of Instrumentation. I'll leave the link below and I'll put it in the comment section below as well, in the first comment. Now, quick overview, right? What I want you to do, guys, is just kind of like pay attention to this. Whatever you're doing is kind of like close out. Because honestly, guys, it's going to be very, very valuable for you. Now, a quick overview. This can be used to find a Facebook ads media buyer as well as a TikTok media buyer. You can even do this for Google ads media buyer, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you're wondering what on earth is a media buyer is basically just the word media buyer, or the phrase media buyer by her is literally just a fancy name for someone who runs your ads on behalf of your agency's clients, basically. So agency clients, instead of you doing the ads yourself, you go and find somebody to outsource the ads to. These people are known as media buyers. That's like the professional fancy name, because all they're doing is buying media. That's what running ads is. You're bidding to actually get your ads shown and in a certain audience, basically in front of a certain people on a certain platform. So this can be used for TikTok, it could be used for Facebook, it could be used for Google ads. Doesn't matter what service you're using. Could it be Snapchat ads and all that sort of stuff. Now, a word of warning real quick, guys, because I know that a lot of people make this sound out to be kind of like easy. I'm going to color this in red. Warning, this will be just as hard, if not harder, to actually land your first client. Now, finding a media buyer is extremely difficult, guys. You will undoubtedly, hire the wrong media buyer at first, and you're probably going to lose a lot of clients. You're going to get bad reviews on Upwork if you're using Upwork. I've been through that as well. You're going to lose clients. You're going to lose a lot of, well, not a lot of money. You're going to lose clients. You're going to lose sleep. You're going to pull your hair out. It's not supposed to be easy. Business is not supposed to be easy. I'm just going to tell you that, rip the band-aids off like right now. It's not going to be easy. It's probably going to be even harder to find a media buyer than it is to actually land your first client, which is already hard enough when you're brand new, if you will. Now, the gurus won't tell you this, but I'm making sure that I'm separating myself from those guys so far that we're not even in the same dimensions, same freaking dimension. So long story short, guys, it's going to be hard, but it's 100% worth it. Like it says here, this will actually be the greatest ROI action you can actually take as an agency owner if you do this right. Keyword there being if. If you do this right, it's one of the greatest ROI actions you can actually take. And it took me nearly 5+ hires, right? And I think I lost like 4 or 5 clients, something like that, just to get this right. I am not even joking. It was months of stress, and it was a lot of back and forth stuff. It was a lot of messing about. I had to hire people, I had to fire people. It felt awkward, it felt hard, it was not nice. I'm just getting that out there right now, guys. But it's 100% worth it. Is it worth it? 100%. The reason why it's worth it is because you win, your clients win, and your actual media buyer wins as well. I'm actually going to be breaking that down in a second. Now, one of the questions I get asked, I should put Q here, is why would a media buyer, right, work with me if I'm just a beginner and they're an expert at running ads? It's a very good question. Think about it. If you're an expert media buyer, right, why would you go and work with an agency that's like completely just brand new, started up in someone's bedroom? Now, the reason for this is some won't, obviously. Some just definitely won't. They'll be like, no, ain't no way in hell we're doing that. But some will. And I want to break down why some actually will. And number one is just because you yourself personally want to start an agency doesn't actually mean your media buyer does as well. Now, let me actually break this down. There's people out there, right, that literally just like crunching numbers on a computer and running ads. They don't like the whole client kind of like experience where they have to kind of like manage clients. They don't like the idea of having to do outreach or do sales or do this thing or do that thing. Because there's so many different areas of an agency that it's not just about media buying. Literally, media buying is just one aspect. Obviously, it's a very important bit because that's what the actual end result, if you will. It's a very important bit, but that's not the entirety, if you will. Now, there's more, like I said, there's more to running an agency than just the ads. There's sales, there's client communication, there's prospecting, there's team management, there's big picture planning, there's hiring talent, there's prospecting, there's outreach, etc., etc. Media buyers are typically reserved people that just love to do the ads themselves. As in, like, they just like doing the ads. I don't like, they literally are like, I don't like doing all that other stuff. I just like running the ads. That's one of the reasons why. Now, Another kind of like thing I want to do is I want to ask you guys a question real quick. Now, I know that everybody here watching this video, right? If I gave you proper quality beef, proper quality ingredients as well, I bet we all watching this, anybody that's above the age of freaking like 10 years old, which I'm pretty sure most of my audience is, pretty sure, we could all easily make a burger that actually tastes better than a McDonald's burger, right? If I was to give you real beef, real ingredients, like really quality ingredients, we could all 100% make a hamburger that literally tastes better than a McDonald's hamburger. Unless you're like some mega fan of like McDonald's and you're like completely just like biased towards them. But I'm pretty sure everybody in the right mind would say, yes, I can definitely make a burger that tastes better than McDonald's. So my question is then, if you yourself, right, know you can make a better hamburger that literally tastes better than a McDonald's hamburger, then why is it that you don't have a hamburger business that's doing better than McDonald's? McDonald's is a billion, I think it's actually multiple billion at this particular point. I'm not too sure, I haven't looked into McDonald's for ages. I don't really like McDonald's, but long story short, it's a multi-billion-dollar probably business at this particular point. Why is it that you know if you can build a hamburger better than their burger, why don't you have a more successful burger restaurant or burger place or burger chain, whatever you want to call it? And the actual answer to that is that it's not just about the burger. It's about marketing. It's about, well, McDonald's actually right now is actually one of the biggest real estate holders in the entire world. I believe that they actually make a lot of money from franchising, real estate, that sort of stuff. It's actually one of the best real estate businesses in the world. I bet you didn't know that. But long story short, there's strategy behind their sales as well, the upsells that they've got. There's all sorts of marketing, sales, strategies, that sort of stuff. It's not just about the burger. In fact, we know there's better burger places out there, yet we still go to the McDonald's because it's convenient as well. They've made it very, very convenient. They've got, kind of almost like monopolizing the market, if you will. And that's why they're really, really good, if you will. And that's why a media buyer, for example, that's the same thing with a media buyer. If a media buyer is really, really good, right? Why don't they have their own agency? Well, they know because it's a lot more difficult than just being good at the actual running ads. What about, again, so if you don't believe in that, I'm going to make this super abundantly clear, if you will. What about the engineers at Apple? If they're so good at making iPhones, the actual people that genuinely sit there all day and they put the components together, or if it's a machine back in the day when they were first kind of like making Apple products, even just the bigger picture engineers that actually draw the designs for Apple's like the iPhones and stuff like that, if they're good at designing and creating new products, if you will, like Apple products, if you will, why is it they don't have a business that's more successful than Apple selling iPhones? It's the same thing, guys. It's not just about being good at the thing. It's about being good at marketing and selling the thing. There's a difference between being in the business of Facebook ads and then being in the business of selling Facebook ads. Those are two completely different things. Or TikTok ads, insert whatever ads you're doing there. Now, another question that I get is, why don't clients just hire the media buyer instead of working with an agency or my agency? And that's a good question. So let's say you've got an agency, you've got a media buyer, and there's a client over here. Some people ask me like, okay, why does this client not just basically just grab my media buyer off me and just basically just work with them and cut me out, the middleman out? And the actual reasoning behind that's a good question again, is that there's contracts in place to prevent this. That's the first thing. I just want to get that out there, just preface by saying that there's contracts in place. Again, these are included inside of age tramitation anyway. And because hiring a media buyer is difficult, it genuinely is difficult, it means that basically when a client works with us as an agency is a team. I want you to Google the definition of agency. It's like a team of people or organization, if you will. And or if you look into the word organization is multiple people, coming about to deliver services and render services or products on behalf of other businesses. And again, so real quick, it means that as an agency, we've already done the hard work. That should say done there. We've already done the hard work and we've already vetted our media buyers. And now they're basically part of our agency and as our agency team. So business owners, by the way, they understand this. They have team members themselves. It's almost like saying, why don't you go from, for example, let's say you order stuff from Amazon. It's almost like saying, why do you go to Amazon to order stuff when there's multiple stores using Amazon's store, if you will? Because if you go to Amazon, there's multiple different stores that use Amazon or multiple sellers that use Amazon, if you will. Why don't you go to their store directly to buy anything? You probably would get it cheaper. Or why don't you go to a certain warehouses? Like, let's say you go to, I don't know, Walmart for you guys over in the US, or like Tesco's over here in the UK. Why do you go to Tesco's to buy your products instead of going to the warehouses where your stores get the products from themselves? So big, stores like Tesco's or Walmart, they actually get their products from warehouses. Why don't we as the consumer go to the warehouses and cut out Tesco's and Walmart? It's the same thing, because we could probably go and get stuff from the warehouse much cheaper. Like, why don't we just go there and buy directly? Now, what it is, it's about branding. It's because you trust the brand Amazon. Amazon's done a great job of branding themselves, becoming very convenient. That convenience itself is another factor. It's about trust. It's about customer service. It's about overall the appeal of just being able to go to Amazon, get something delivered really, really quickly. And it's the same thing with your agency. It's about a convenience. You've already done the vetting of the media buyers. You've already got a team that are trusted. You've already got experts in place. You've already gone around the world, literally scoured the globe and put them into your business. You've done the legwork, if you will. It's about convenience as well, as in the actual client doesn't need to go and do that themselves. You've already done it. It's about branding as well. If you brand yourself right, you can basically show people why they shouldn't go to other agencies. They can just come with your agency because you've got experts in place. And it's about customer service as well. Now, let's talk about hiring a media buyer. Now, hiring a media buyer, right, is a win-win-win situation. It's a triple win situation. Here's why. Your client's going to win because an expert is going to be doing the ads for them. Like, for example, your media buyer is an expert at ads. They're going to be doing the ads for your client. Therefore, your client's actually going to win and get good results. If you can get your client good results, they're going to stay on with you for a long time and make you even more money. That basically is a win for you, by the way, obviously. And that's because you become a real business owner with actual free time and not just a 9-to-5 job disguised as a business. Not only that, but you make more money in the long term. I should put that in, more money. So you actually make more money in the long term as well, because you can retain clients for longer. So and the longer you retain a client, the more you get paid from a client. So if you got $1,000 per month client and they only stay on for 3 months, you've only made 3K. But if they stay on for 16 months, you made 16K, if you will, for that one client. As you can see, you make more money in the long run. And now the media buyer as well, they also win. So this is the third one, if you will. They get paid to do exactly what they love to do, which is buying media, doing the media buying, running the ads. So a lot of people ask me then, okay, Montel, so when do you actually hire a media buyer? It's a very, very big question. I personally recommend hiring your media buyer immediately before you've even got your first client. But I also want you to ensure that you are basically scoured YouTube on how to run Facebook ads for your niche. So what I need you to do, guys, is just literally open up a new tab and just literally type in how to run Facebook ads and then insert your niche. How to run Facebook ads for gyms, how to run Facebook ads for e-com brands, Facebook ads for e-com brands. Just literally type that in and scour YouTube. Like, watch the first entire 2 pages of YouTube, or if it's TikTok ads, do the same thing, or it's Google ads, do the same thing, or SEO, do the same thing. Basically, what I want you to do is make sure you understand your service enough, just enough so you can actually sell it. Again, we're not in the business of Facebook ads, as in like you're doing the Facebook ads. We're in the business of selling Facebook ads as a service to other people. Those are two completely different things. If you do not believe me, again, read the book called The E-Myth. I'll actually put it right here, The E-Myth. Go and read this book right here, The E-Myth. This book right here. I'll actually Google it for you. There we go. The E-Myth. This book right here. Go and grab this book right here. You need to go grab that book. But long story short, guys, go read that book. It will tell you why. Now, where to actually find media buyers? I'll just list off a couple of places. Upwork is my go-to place. You can go to Upwork to find media buyers. You can go to Facebook groups, and all you want to do that is just literally just go to Facebook, and in the search kind of like tab, just literally type in Facebook ads, or just type in like Facebook media buyers, Facebook media buyer, or just media buyer, or just Facebook ads, or ads in general. Just play around with the keywords. Go and join a whole bunch of groups and start connecting with people. You can also do the same thing with LinkedIn. You can do like Boolean searches. So what you can do is you can actually search for keywords such as like Facebook ads, media buyer, run ads, that sort of stuff. Or we help e-com brands, we scale e-com brands, and you'll probably find some media buyers, that sort of stuff. Use these keywords here first though. Then what you can do is you can use other freelance websites. So you can actually go to stuff like, I think there's like guru.com. There's all sorts of freelance websites. Just literally type in top freelance websites and then just go and join those and actually go and find people. That's literally one of the best ways to do it. Open up a new tab if you want. Type in literally top freelance websites right now. Like in a tab, go find out what the top ones are. Upwork's probably going to be the best one. So Upwork is my go-to. I don't actually use anything other than Upwork or my own network to hire media buyers. I've never actually used a Facebook group successfully to find an actual media buy. They're very difficult. Again, it's very difficult. Probably going to take you a couple of months to actually do this. So get to work now. You can also leverage your own network / audience if you have one. And if you don't, you can use a friend's network or audience. So these are just some options for you guys. So Upwork, Facebook groups, LinkedIn search, other freelance websites, your own network / audience, or a friend's network / audience. There you go. Now, how much do you actually pay your actual media buyer? Now, you'll probably be paying, right, anywhere between $500 to $750 per month per client for a good media buyer. So ensure you're charging what you're worth. So if you're charging only $1,000, right, and per month per client, and your media buyer is costing you $750, that means you're only going to net $250. So obviously you can't charge that. I actually recommend if you're going to charge clients, right, you need to at least double or triple whatever your media buyer is costing you. So if your media buyer is, charging you $500 per month, I would actually recommend going no below like literally 1K. That would really hurt me, to be honest with you. I'd probably say closer to 1.5K I'd be charging on top of that. And then what you do is you keep the actual the difference, if you will. So you've charged 1.5K, you've got a client for 1.5K, that is, you've got a media buyer that's costing you $500. Obviously you minus the cost, you've got a net profit of 1K right there. And vice versa it's the same thing with however much your media buyer is charging you. Now, just real quick, I've actually found that there's a positive correlation between how good your media buyer is and how much they charge. It's directly proportional, is what I'm trying to say. So the better the media buyer, the more you're gonna have to pay them. And that's just, you pay what you get. You get what you pay for, if you will. Now, you can try to go the route where you hire a cheaper media buyer and then train them up. And by the way how we do this is you would literally just go and buy a whole bunch of Facebook courses, get a media buyer, and just get your media buyer to go through those Facebook ad courses. There you go. Start thinking like a business owner, guys. Think like a business owner. Your business is only as good as the employees are in your business. So train up your employees to be very, very good. And therefore, you have a very, very good business. Simple stuff when you think about it, isn't it? But nobody thinks like this. But anyway, long story short, the drawback though is that when you obviously hire a cheaper media buyer, you have to spend more on like training, you have to train them up, that sort of stuff. Not only that, but you won't be able to leverage their case studies at the beginning because they might not have any. But you will get, at the end of the day, get a cheaper media buyer and you've actually trained them up and stuff like that. Now, people ask me as well, by the way, if you don't want to go that, you can obviously get a more expensive media buyer, and then most of the time when you get a more expensive media buyer, if you will, they're gonna have case studies that you can actually leverage, and leveraging their case studies will actually help you land clients sooner, if you will, because you've actually got case studies to actually back up what you're saying, if you will. Now, when it comes to actually paying your media buyer and when you should do that, get your media buyer to send you an invoice at the end of the month via Stripe. Stripe's inbuilt kind of like invoicing system if they got Stripe, or you could use simple invoices hooked up with Stripe. Again, they still need Stripe for that. Or you can get them to simple invoices you with PayPal, or just PayPal directly. Or you can use something like wise.com. I know that I've used wise.com for a few of my social media managers, which is a completely different different thing, but you can still technically use this kind of like layout here for your actual social media managers. So like wise.com is like a transfer that, so let's say you've got somebody in like a third world country, if you will, or developing country. I believe that's more politically correct to say, so apologies for saying third world country. But long story short, if you've got somebody in like a developing country, I don't know, like India, Pakistan, or something like that, you can actually leverage Wise. Wise is like an international transfer. You can just get them to send you like an invoice, a draft invoice, and then you basically just pay them at the end of the month. I like to pay my media buyers at the end of the month after they've done the work. This is normal when you're an employee. When you're an employee, your job, do you get paid at the first of the month or do you get paid at the end of the month? Like when you start a new job, unless one of the quirks or the perks, if you will, of joining a job is that you get an advance real quick, I guess, to attract new talent, which is quite a good idea, by the way, for companies, as if you're thinking as like a business owner. But if that's not the case, normally employees get paid at the end of the month. So it's the same thing here. It's just a normal business. Employees get paid at the end of the month. Have a contract in place as well that basically states that they're going to get paid at the end of the month, so they know exactly what it is before they actually join your agency. Now, what do you actually look for in a media buyer, Montel? Well, here's what I look for. Good copywriting skills. This is probably number one right here. That's probably why I put it as number one. They need to have good copywriting skills. The reason for this is because Facebook ads is, when you think about it, when you actually really break down a Facebook ad, there's not really that many moving parts. There's the actual visual ad itself, as in like the video or the image. Then there's the actual caption. Then there's the link to the product page. So and then obviously there's the audience you need to target, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty much, there's not that many moving parts, if you will. There's all sorts of different strategies you can use, like CBO and all that sort of crazy stuff. We won't get into that right now. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so there's all those sorts of crazy stuff, but we'll get into that right now. What I've actually found is copywriting skills are very, very important for running ads, because it's just that's what gets people to click. That's where your clicks come from. Your video, or your creative, should I say, is what stops the scroll. Your copywriting skills is what gets people who have stopped to then continue reading, to then click. So this is where you get people's attention. Attention comes from the actual creative. That attention then leads to, I'm going to read this because it caught my eye. Then that's the copywriting. And the copywriting also gets your clicks. So this is where your clicks come from. I also look for enthusiasm. They actually want to work as a team as well. They actually want to work as a team. Not only just work, but they actually want to work as a team. They have a good attitude. I've seen some media buyers that really think they're like a hot shot. They're like this hot shot, egotistical, kind of like not a good person to work with. I also want to make sure that they're hardworking. Obviously, that's just a given. Everybody has to be hardworking. They actually put effort in when they're speaking to you and they're filling out your questionnaire forms when you're vetting them. If you can see that they're actually putting effort in, they're going above and beyond, and they're following up with you and stuff like that, and they're really like showing that enthusiasm to work with you, they're probably going to be a good media buyer. Because actually, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, is what I'm trying to say. They don't think they're a hot shot. I've had some media buyers, like I said, that think they're just like the bee's knees, if you will. They've got amazing English, so I try to get people that are kind of like from like more westernized countries, if you will, if they're media buyers, because I know that when I'm jumping on strategy sessions with my actual clients, I want my media buyer to be there, and I want them to have like really fluid English as well, spoken and written, so they can actually do good copywriting, and they're actually good at speaking and communicating their ideas. I actually also look for geekiness and introverts. So geeky introverts, people that don't, it sounds awful, but people that don't really, I heard this from another video somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but I actually look for people that are like quite geeky. They're kind of like loners. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, like lone, saying it out like that, but they're like introverted, geeky kind of people that don't really have much of a social life, and they've got lots of free time and not many other commitments. So they don't really have like a 9-to-5 job, or they're not working with all these different types of agencies, or they just kind of, or they're not trying to build their own, I should put here, not white label services. So I'm not looking for no white label services, and no agencies. So no white label services and no agencies or agency owners / owners, because this is what I'm basically looking for. I'm also looking for good ROAS numbers that I actually can feel, ROAS numbers that I genuinely would feel comfortable explaining to a client or showing a client, if you will. So this is what I'm looking for here, guys. Take a screenshot of this or whatever you need to do, but this is basically what I'm looking for when it comes to media buyers, the whole process as a whole. So hopefully, guys, this has been a good video for you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I've tried to give out as much valuable information as I can for completely free. So all I need in return is literally just drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're ready to take your agency to the next level, if you will. I do have my one-to-one program available where you can work with me one-to-one. That will be in the link below. Or if you don't want to like kind of commit to a one-to-one program, because it is quite, you know, expensive at this particular point, but you know, you get what you pay for, if you will. If you don't want to do that, you can go over into H-Ramtation. Again, that is absolutely crazy, the sort of results we've been able to get with that as well, and that's only $797 at the time of recording this. It will be going up to $997, so if it's at $997 by the time you actually are watching this, do not be surprised, if you will. Link will be below. I'll make it abundantly clear which one's which, so you can actually, you know, take a look at those and watch the videos and the explainers and stuff like that. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.